If you want to learn about the pioneer life in Indiana or the women's suffrage movement and colonial times in America, our next guest has combined music, historical events, and education into a fun musical performance for schools and people of all ages. Audrey Johnson of Lafayette is a classically trained vocalist and teaching artist that cleverly woven songs and history into a delightful presentation for all ages to celebrate the hero in each of us. Audrey joins me now to talk more about her musical programs. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me, Stacy. I'm so excited to be here with you.
And I love your outfit.
Oh,
beautiful.
Thank you.
So tell me about your outfit. What time is this? What era is this?
So this is one of the costumes from the program on the women's suffrage movement. This was that second generation of the movement. So Susan B. Anthony has already had her time. We've picked up again with those leaders like Alice Paul and Lucy Burns. And we have the colors of the movement, the gold, the white, and the purple. And of course in our suffragette white.
I love it. And so you do a lot of costume changes.
Yes, absolutely.
How many do you normally do for a program?
You know, that is such a great question. And when I bring my programs to schools, the kids will count sometimes.
Is that right?
They'll keep tabs on how many times we do. Yes, because we really want to keep this interactive. You know, as you mentioned, I am a classically trained opera singer. But these programs are nothing like a typical classical recital. These are multi-sensory, immersive experiences that combine historical music, image projections, and narrative dialogue, and lots of costume changes and audience participation to bring this to life in a multi-sensory, immersive way. So depending on the program, I change almost for every single song.
Is that right?
It is a lot. It is. But you know, it is some of the most fun. I just love it. And it's really delightful to see audiences respond so positively to that as well.
What made you decide to do this? You told me earlier that you've been doing this since 2018.
Yes,
is
that's
that right?
Yes.
So that whole combination, what made you decide, hey, this would be a great idea to teach kids about history?
That is such a great question. Thank you. You know, I was fortunate enough to be on the traditional operatic track for a long time. I had wonderful experiences, and I'm still involved in that world as well. But I just over time was getting a feeling that I wasn't doing everything that I was supposed to do with my artistry. And I took a moment and just let myself ask that really tough question: what are the most meaningful experiences performing for you, Audrey, and why? And I realized that it wasn't necessarily the ones with all of the bells and whistles on the big fancy stages. It was when I was bringing programs to communities, that outreach experience, when I was able to make that direct connection with audiences. And I realized that my true calling was to be an ambassador of American music with the mission of educating, but even more importantly, empowering us to know that we have so much more in common than what divides us, and that we do have an American hero inside of each of us.
That is so good. And that's why I wanted to have you on today.
Thanks.
Because I just think it's just something different, you know, that people don't get to see, where the combination of music and history, and it makes people more interested in history, especially the young kids.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. You know, teachers are so swamped. I just feel for them. They are so strapped for time in what they are doing. Not only do they have to meet those curriculum benchmarks with the academics, but they also have to incorporate those social and emotional learning competencies as well. And so I really work with those teachers when I develop these programs so that I'm supporting them in what they're already teaching in their lessons.
And if somebody wants information, you have a website, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. oftheising.com, 2 E's on that.
Of the, not the.
Not the,
That's what
but
I said
the.
earlier.
Yes,
Thanks
exactly.
so much for coming in.
Well,
I really
thank
appreciate it.
you.
It was
This
a
has been
pleasure. We'll have to
wonderful.
have you on again.
I'd love that.
All
Thanks
right.
so much,
Thank
Stacy.
you. Now we're going to turn it to weather.